die does not redeem how you lived. You do not become a hero in your death when you are a weapon of the enemy in your life.
Well, negotiations, right? Politics. And we're out of time, so you...
Nice ass. Hey, y'all, Gravity. Any evening above ground, live it. Hope you had a fantastic Wednesday. If you didn't hump something, you still got time, about 5.5 hours. So make sure you make that hump impossible. Before we get this started, MAGA, we're going to terrorize you again this evening. But we want y'all to listen to something real fast. This should be the model going into 2026.
Not allowed them to crack food. When they jump in, understand that they crack food.
Y'all heard what I'm talking about. Shout out to Hitman. MAGA, we went over this about a month or two ago. Read comprehension is a big thing that is one of the skills that are being not taught in these schools. And a lot of y'all are losing your edge when you go out on the street. I understand social media, information comes fast and furious. I understand that. But there's a certain point where you have to stop and review everything before you say something. This is why some of your tweets come out. They look like some 6-year-old wrote it. Your thought processes are so jumbled that people can't follow you. You guys don't ask for clarification on things. You just run with the first thing you see. Y'all headline watch. And y'all proved it to me yesterday when we did White on White Crime, because somebody came in live and said, you're only reading the headlines. Weren't y'all the same ones who said y'all don't need the context? See, I love how y'all tell me that you need to read the headline and read the story when it's one of y'all involved. But if I just showed a whole bunch of cases with black folks, y'all would have been up there saying, see how violent you are. You didn't need no context. Context is going to be a very important word this evening because this whole Tylenol thing is hilarious to me. This just proves that MAGA does not read or research, because every box of medicine, every commercial that you've ever seen involving a medical device or a medical product that you ingest or put in or on your body has told you to consult your healthcare professional or your doctor before doing it. And they even gone so far to show you how feminist they were by telling women, if you're pregnant or thinking of becoming pregnant, make sure you consult your doctor first. But lo and behold, because Trump and RFK, a Democrat and a Democrat, decided to go on live TV and explain to the world the link between Tylenol and autism, everybody lost their mind. Even though the studies are inconclusive. So this evening, we're going to go over it. And I'm sorry, but shout out to Cannon Hotep and Dr. Christina Parks. We understand what you were doing, but no. This has nothing to do with y'all. I just had to bring y'all up because I respect y'all. But in this live, this what y'all did, putting out videos saying that there's a link there. Even though, again, Dr. Christina Parks, I respect you. There's no conclusive evidence that links it to that. We got to be careful. We can't give the idiots chum. Can't do that. Can't do that. So what we're going to do first, we're going to go get the Trump RFK press conference where they linked it to that. Just so everybody can have proper context before we go into tweets and other things. So this is a snippet. Now, he low-key was trying to distance himself away from what happened in 2020 because people are asking questions now. And low-key, I think there's going to be a lot of lawsuits next year in regards to Pfizer and Moderna, AstraZeneca and Johnson & Johnson for what they pulled in 2020. And I think he knows that. So he's trying to get ahead of it now so they don't sue the U.S. government. Because if they sue the U.S. government as well, Big Pharma is going to sue the U.S. government, and we are going to have to pay for that. But let's see what he said in this snippet about the C19, well, not C19, but vaccines and autism. And of course, there's no sound.
To 10,000, and then you go to 12. You know there's something artificial. They're taking something. And by the way, I think I can say that there are certain groups of people that don't take vaccines and don't take any pills that have no autism. That have no autism. Does that tell you something? That's currently, is that a correct statement, by the way?
Studies that suggest, it's not definitive. They suggest that it's possible. Okay.
The Amish, yeah, virtually, I heard none. See, Bobby wants to be very careful with what he says. I mean,
Yes, because he has to be careful. Trump does not know the meaning of liability. I get it though. Go ahead.
shit, but I'm not so careful with what I say. But you have certain groups. The Amish, as an example, they have essentially no autism.
Okay, because you polled every Amish person that ever lived and found this out. Okay. A group of people that essentially keep to themselves. Y'all know this. Okay.
So I've been waiting for this meeting for 20 years, actually.
You could have done this the first term. Let's see what RFK says about Tylenol.
To meet the president's challenge, I ordered HHS to launch an unprecedented all-agency effort to identify all causes of autism, including toxic and pharmaceutical exposures. At President Trump's urging, NIH, FDA, CDC, and CMS are turning over every stone to identify the etiology of the autism epidemic and how patients and parents can prevent and reverse this alarming trend. We have broken down the traditional silos that have long separated these agencies, and we have fast-tracked research and guidance. Historically, NIH has focused almost solely on politically safe and entirely fruitless research about the genetic drivers of autism. And that would be like studying the genetic drivers of lung cancer without looking at cigarettes. And that's what NIH has been doing for 20 years. As a result, we don't have an answer to this critical question, despite the cataclysmic impact of the epidemic on our nation's children. We are now replacing the institutional culture of politicized science and corruption with evidence-based medicine. NIH research teams are currently testing multiple hypotheses with no area off limits. We promise transparency as we uncover the potential causes and treatments, and we will notify the public regularly of our progress. Today, we are announcing two important findings from our autism work that are vital for parents to know as they make these decisions. First, HHS will act on acetaminophen. The FDA is responding to clinical and laboratory studies that suggest a potential association between acetaminophen use during pregnancy and adverse neurodevelopmental outcomes, including later diagnosis for ADHD and autism. Scientists have proposed biological mechanisms linking prenatal acetaminophen exposure to altered brain development. We have also evaluated the contrary studies that show no association. Today, the FDA will issue a physician's notice about the risk of acetaminophen during pregnancy and begin the process to initiate a safety label change.
All right. So that's basically what he said. And he was correct. They changed it that same day he said it. So it says here on September 22nd, 2025, the U.S. Food and Drug Administration initiated a label change to suggest that acetaminophen use by pregnant women may be associated with an increased risk of neurological conditions such as autism and attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, or ADHD, in children. The agency also issued a related letter alerting physicians nationwide. Even though there's been peer reviews that have not linked this. Oh, you don't believe me. I figured you didn't. Well, let's just show you. So it says here, according to Yale University and acog.org, since 2017, multiple studies have examined the use of acetaminophen or Tylenol during pregnancy, with many showing associations between its use and increased risk of neurodevelopment disorders like autism and ADHD. However, no study has definitively proven a causal link, and leading health organizations continue to support its use for treating pain and fever when necessary. Because I guess Trump and RFK forgot that hospitals and doctors use different strengths. They don't use the OTC version. But okay, you know what happened when the world got that. Everybody named Mama had to say something. Now, they went and dug up a tweet from Tylenol way back in 2017 that says, we actually don't recommend using any of our products while pregnant. Thank you for taking the time to voice your concerns today. And the reason they put this out there was because, as most health agencies that produce product will tell you, pharmaceutical, I should say, they rarely test their products on pregnant women. There's two lives at stake. There's too many factors. Every person's different. This is why they have a control and a variable group. They don't know how it's going to interact with your body. People change all the time. But again, we have the MAGA group who think they're smart than everybody, even though the base is considered white, non-college educated males. That's who's leading it. Every box Every box tells you consult your health professional before use. Again, I think he's trying to distract us not only from the Epstein stuff, but also what happened with the jab. Because his people told him it was safe for pregnant people. Conspiracy. I'm not going to say it here. I might write it in a community post because I don't want to say it on here and then they scan it and figure out that I said that and then knock this live down for medical misinformation. But like I say, they found it, and people like Piers Morgan and others think they're owning Tylenol for covering their ass. Even though what they did was correct. Because again, there's no casual link, meaning if there was a casual link, you would have seen it in at least over millions of people. You haven't seen it. So as we go through these tweets, instead of saying, let's have civil discourse on how bad or good Tylenol is, they went and made this a left versus right issue. Because they saw some broads for TikTok views take Tylenol to try to own Trump. But y'all get upset at me when I tell y'all that not only are you maggots leftists, but the pendulum swings both ways. Liberals will oppose anything Trump supports no matter what. You don't hate the mainstream media enough. Let's see. Too much Tylenol in pregnancy could affect development. Too much. Trump links autism to Tylenol vaccines. Claims not backed by science. This year. So we have a 12-year gap where science is continually evolving. But I love how they skipped the first two words, too much. Because we know anything in excess is bad for you. I have to ask y'all again, MAGA. I know y'all are waiting for Jimmy Kimmel to come online again so y'all can go rage. And again, y'all did exactly what I said y'all were going to do. Y'all made the monologue bigger than it needed to be because you couldn't just ignore him. Everybody knows if you take too much medicine, you can damage your organs. They know there are people out there that are pregnant that are in so much pain, but the doctor tells them, nah, don't do it. They'll go out and go get the OTC version, which everybody knows is a different grade than what a doctor would give you. The acetaminophen you get from the pharmacist is not the same that you would buy for about $12. But again, they didn't think this through. They just ran with their first thought. Reading comprehension eludes these people. Please do not take Tylenol while pregnant for social media likes and views. You can really hurt your child. This is not a joke. Get offline. Neither Trump or RFK Jr. linked Tylenol with autism. Dean of Harvard School of Public Health did. Okay. First off, I want to know when you did this. You see what he wrote here? And I know MAGA didn't read this. The association is strongest when acetaminophen is taken for 4 weeks or longer. Now, what dumbass is going to sit up there and take Tylenol for 4 weeks or more? I think after about a few days, if you take Tylenol and you're not getting better, you need to go to the doctor. I thought this was established, but again, I guess we got to explain it to these folks. If you have to take medicine for potentially longer than 2 weeks, either there's something really wrong with your body or you're just thinking you're going to turn this into a painkiller. Because I've never met somebody that had to keep popping aspirins. I would hope there was something wrong with you. My old man had a back problem. He was stay being prescribed Motrin, not the OTC. He had to get that from a doctor with a prescription. Keyword, a doctor. Pharmacy label on it and everything. But again, this is Make America Healthy Again, and they can't even do simple research. Trump, don't take Tylenol. See? Had to make it a left thing. Left versus right. See women weaponizing their pregnancies for political points by taking Tylenol despite Trump is batch. Ooh, 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 ooh. The pendulum swings both ways. Didn't we not watch people a few months ago say, go make babies? Their hypocrisy knows no bounds. This is why Brother El Hajj Malik El Shabazz told us about the white liberals and the white conservatives. They're both the same. One is just overt, the other is covert. MAGA had a whole campaign telling they folk to go get their birth rates up, go have babies. Isn't that not weaponizing pregnancies for political points? Y'all don't want to talk to me. And we know none of them, when I hit them with that point, they're going to be like, no. Same thing. We just saw a month or two ago one of them right-wingers, after what happened at Turning Point USA, get their pregnancy politicized for points. Did Ashley Sinclair a few months ago not politicize her pregnancy for points? How did that end up? But it's always them on the right. We continue. It's okay, they hate Trump and willing to risk it. Well, there you go. Again, this is not the onus you thought it was. Health Canada, keep taking Tylenol during pregnancy. Okay. Because I know a man is going to watch his wife and pay and say, I need Tylenol. He going to run out and go get it. Yeah, okay. First thing he doing is he calling up the doctor. It's almost like Tylenol doesn't want you to use Tylenol while pregnant. Correct. If you are pregnant, nursing, seek the advice of your healthcare professional before using Tylenol or any other medication. 2016. February 13th. Thanks for the shout out, Carrie. Just make sure to talk to your doctor before taking Tylenol while you're pregnant. Thanks again. A month before they put out that tweet. Here's the tweet. Here's another one, June 17, 2019. Congrats on your upcoming edition. So exciting. It'd be great to touch base real quick since we haven't tested Tylenol to be used during pregnancy and see what coupons we have for a baby. Well, MAGA, you didn't show them this one now, did you? We haven't tested Tylenol to be used during pregnancy. Oops. Because it's almost like they don't want to get sued for babies being harmed or being deleted. There you go. For those who didn't see the whole tweet. They literally told you this 6 years ago. 6 years ago. We never tested it on pregnant women. That's why you go to your doctor. Because they have your blood work. They know your body. They know your physiology. They know how to skew it. You idiots. Look, they putting up these. Mount Sinai study supports evidence that prenatal acetaminophen use may be linked to increased risk of autism and ADHD. How much you want to bet if I read any one of these, they're going to say over a prolonged period of time? Let's ask the question, MAGA. Where are the studies for the jab? Where are they? Huh? But I bet you if I brought that up, they're going to tell me I'm crazy, right? Okay. I'm not making this about the jab. I'm just trying to tell you a story. If you don't want to believe RFK, maybe believe Tylenol. Them telling you that not to take it without talking to a doctor. Because they didn't write, talk to your doctor. Even though on their fucking boxes, it tells you to talk to a healthcare professional. So let me get this right. You could easily walk to your CVS or your grocery store or even your convenience store and see it says, talk to a healthcare professional before taking this if you're pregnant. But you dumbasses saw a tweet. And because they did say talk to your healthcare professional first, you thought that they told you that it's not safe for you while pregnant. Even though your doctor, the person that is taking care of you and your little one, is the final arbiter on you taking drugs. Fam, I'm almost starting to agree with some people that say either you need a license for social media or we should just shut this shit down for about 2 years and let people go outside and read some books. I can't believe that we're actually having this conversation, that people cannot read and comprehend what they're reading. I'm being punked right now. I'm literally being punked. This fool got 2 million views off of this, putting up the same stupid ass tweet. That's not what they said. But again, okay, since somebody had to try to get me off. Okay. What do I think about BLM killing politics? BLM actually elevated politics. If it killed it, nobody would mention BLM. Even though that's not what we're talking about here, but we'll answer your dumbass question. BLM amplified politics. There's a question. Back to this. Anyway. This person said it is safe, idiot, but you must take the right dose and ask information. It is a count on your body weight, how much you can take in 24 hours. No one can take 6 pills in a night because it will harm the liver. Chris wrote, not the same as saying Tylenol causes autism. Where's the scientific evidence to back this up? Please enlighten everyone. That doesn't make it the cause of autism. Almost all medications have that disclaimer. I'm still waiting for any doctor or physician to explain the link between autism and Tylenol. This is total BS. You MAGA folk love to pass around disinformation. Also, X.com didn't exist in 2017. Well, they got this from here now. So, I mean, it is what it is, but we're not going to go there. Tylenol, like most over-the-counter drugs, has the same recommendation for individuals who are pregnant or breastfeeding. I think the claim that Tylenol causes autism might be the issue. Guess what? Tylenol use among pregnant women has been declining for the past 10 years, while autism rates have continued to rise. No scientist has said it's anti-science. They literally all said there is no causal relationship between acetaminophen during pregnancy and autism. They say pregnant people should still avoid any medication they can and to consult their OBGYN if they need meds. I don't see what the problem is. And I'm pretty sure if you ask an OBGYN, they give them a very low dose. And more often than not, they'll actually provide Motrin, because Motrin is supposed to be a lot safer. But, you know. Ibuprofen for you doctor motherfuckers out there. They don't, and they haven't done extensive tests. However, Tylenol is one of the most studied medications in history and is safe when used as directed by expecting mothers, infants, and children. Because they're, never mind. Got to keep doing this. This is so effing ironic, it's not even funny. I hope the people swearing up and down that Tylenol will sue the government to oblivion see this and realize how idiotic their stance is in all this. They actually have a case, but we're not going to get into that. This post from 2017 is being taken out of context. We do not recommend pregnant women take any medication without talking to their doctor. This is consistent with the regulations that the USDA put on them and the FDA and product label for acetaminophen. Federal regulators have also weighed in. Earlier this year, the FDA issued a notice acknowledging some studies that suggest a possible association between prenatal acetaminophen use and neurological conditions, but emphasized that a causal link has not been established. Medical experts continue to recommend acetaminophen as the preferred over-the-counter pain reliever for pregnant women when used as directed, knowing that alternatives such as ibuprofen or aspirin carry known risks. Now, again, what I just said, some doctors, have prescribed ibuprofen, especially with the women that have back pain. Some. And it's also considered safer by some, since I have to emphasize that. Some. But again, MAGA didn't see this. Trust the science when there's a vague study about the safety of C19 vax. Don't trust the science where there's studies and reasonable doubt as to the safety of paracetamol. Funny how that works in the brain of a leftist. Clearly their moms took Tylenol. Seriously? Right back to left versus right. I don't think I would have imagined Tylenol. Well, let's see who owns it now, because they used to be owned by Johnson & Johnson. Let's see. Because I know they sold it a few years ago. Kenvue, right. A subsidiary of Johnson & Johnson. Kenvue manages the brand and its products, including various formulations of acetaminophen. That would actually be kind of funny. The Jets organization suing the president. That actually would be kind of funny. Somebody did a Photoshop and said, "Nice try, release the Epstein files." Oh, that is hilarious. Oh, Lord. People are retarded. Oh, man. Gene Luke said, why did Tylenol suggest not to take it? Because they never tested it on pregnant women. That's why. That's why on their boxes, they tell you if you're pregnant or breastfeeding, talk to your healthcare professional. And like I stressed earlier, most doctors are going to tell you, we'll give you a prescription for Tylenol, aka acetaminophen, that you get from the pharmacy, which is a dose based on their recommendation. And if a doctor does tell you to take the OTC brand, they'll tell you, listen, take it for about a week and come back and see me. They figure it should be over after maybe a second dose. And most times they'll tell you just take one and see how you feel. And if you still feel bad, call me and we'll see if we can up it to 2. That's what it is. No pharmaceutical company is going to put themselves on liability front street by not saying, if you're pregnant, it's okay to take our product. Every commercial you've ever seen, they tell you that. But this is MAGA.
Not allowing them to talk to them. And you jump in, understand that they talk to them. Vicious. Not allowing them to talk to them. And you jump in, understand that they talk to them.
Because they don't listen. Which product you want? You want Zyrtec? You want to go back to Zyrtec? Y'all remember Zyrtec?
Hey, allergy mother. Are your sneezes putting your friends in awkward positions? Stick with Zyrtec. Zyrtec starts working hard at hour 1 and works twice as hard when you take it again the next day. Zyrtec. Muddle no more.
Now that's Zyrtec. Let's see if Zyrtec says anything about pregnant people. Let's see. Cetirizine, the active ingredient of Zyrtec, is generally considered safe to take during pregnancy, but it's important to consult with your healthcare provider before using it. They can determine the best options for managing allergy symptoms while ensuring safety for you and your baby. Well, wow. Wow. What about Xanax? Cause we know them folk love to use Xanax. Xanax is not safe to take during pregnancy as it could lead to serious risks, including birth defects and withdrawal symptoms in newborns. It's important to consult with a healthcare provider for safer alternatives to manage anxiety during pregnancy. Y'all remember Zoloft? Sertraline is generally considered safe to use during pregnancy, but it's important to discuss the risks and benefits with your healthcare provider. While most studies show low risk of birth defects, untreated depression can pose significant risks to both the mother and baby. Let's go to Motrin. Motrin, which contains ibuprofen, is not usually recommended during pregnancy, especially after 20 weeks, as it can affect the baby's kidneys and circulation. It's best to consult a healthcare professional for safer alternatives, such as acetaminophen for pain relief during pregnancy. Are we seeing the pattern? Advil. Let's go to Advil. Advil, ibuprofen is generally not recommended during pregnancy, especially after 20 weeks, as it can negatively affect the fetus's kidneys and circulation. Acetaminophen is considered a safer alternative of pain relief during pregnancy. Oh my God. So they're telling you consult with your doctor, but because MAGA saw a tweet where they didn't say consult your doctor, they thought that there was a link between autism and they shouldn't be taking it. Oh, he really knows how to prey on his base, boy. I know this ain't a sexy live, but I just need y'all to understand this is who we're going to be dealing with next November 3rd. Matter of fact, this is who you're going to be dealing with in 6 weeks with the Virginia primary. I'm sorry, the Virginia gubernatorial election. This is who's going in the booth. Some, not all, but some. And some can swing a vote in a candidate's way. Let's get them ugly, before we go, them ugly germ idiots. Let me see something. Mucinex, which contains the active ingredient guaifenesin, can be used during pregnancy, but only under a doctor's guidance. A doctor's guidance. You dumb motherfuckers. Fam, we in trouble. I get it though. They won't go after them doctors. They'll go after the manufacturer. Talking about Trump is taking on Big Pharma. You mean the same Big Pharma? Okay, fine. Okay. Because I remember when Owen Schroyer and them were yelling that Trump never took Big Pharma money. Let's see if your president took it. Let's see. What is this? Big Pharma and drug middlemen donated record money to get Trump on their side. President Donald Trump's inaugural committee raised a record $200 million. Well, this looks like he sold out. Oh, y'all don't believe me. I figured you didn't. Okay. Let's see if they still have the video up. There was a video in the first term, well, before the first term, Owen Schroyer said that Donald Trump did not take money from Big Pharma. Let me see if they have it. Okay, whatever. Trump has told associates that he raised roughly $500 million in that time, with the funds being split into his inaugural committee and other accounts, including Political Action Committee. Trump's inaugural fund raised a record $200 million alone, well above the $53 million Barack Obama raised in 2008 and $62 Joe Biden in 2022. Healthcare executives were among those who wrote the largest of checks to attend fundraising dinners with Trump in an effort to gain his favor and influence his healthcare agenda. Drug makers and pharmacy benefit managers, also known as drug middlemen, blaming each other for the high cost of prescription drugs. Well, Ain't that something? Yeah. But y'all got mad at me when I said that you elected a corporate president now. Well, fam, I think we've given you enough information. Hopefully you learned something. If you did, I done my job. If not, I try to be better next time. I will see you when I see you. And by the way, Cam Higbee is a coward because he deleted the live stream that he was supposed to do today. He canceled it. He's a coward. But we figured he couldn't. He probably figured, him and his people figured you couldn't spin this any way that you could, or you were going to attempt to do. So anyway, we're gonna let y'all enjoy the rest of your evening. Again, you have about 4 hours, 43 minutes left to go hump something. So anyway, y'all take care, stay safe. And you know what to do when the agents of chaos come to mess up your existence. And by the way, it was a white guy that shot up that ICE facility in Dallas.